A rare high-impact tornado tore through the coastal district of Tamsui in New Taipei City. At the same time, the massive swirling vortex of Typhoon Dolphin churned through the waters just north of the island. The dual atmospheric threats combined to cause widespread structural damage, transport gridlocks, and terrifying moments for local citizens. The disaster unfolded rapidly between Saturday, August 8th and Sunday, August 9th, 2026. Government agencies scrambled to handle the fallout from the extreme weather. On Saturday afternoon, August 8th, 2026, residents of Danhai New Town in the Tamsui district of New Taipei City noticed an eerie, rapid darkening of the skies. The outer rainbands of Typhoon Dolphin were already pushing volatile, highly convective cloud systems over the northern tip of Taiwan. According to meteorologists at the Central Weather Administration, CWA, the severe atmospheric instability and intense wind shear embedded within these outer bands created a perfect micro-scale environment for cyclonic rotation. At approximately 1:30 p.m., a massive waterspout condensed over the turbulent waters off the northern coast. Captured on dozens of mobile phone videos by astonished onlookers, the roaring column of spinning wind and spray quickly tracked toward the shoreline. As it crossed the threshold from the sea onto the land at Danhai New Town, the waterspout transformed into a fully realized land tornado. It maintained structural integrity and ground contact for a full 30 minutes until 2 p.m. The sight of a major tornado is exceptionally rare in Taiwan. While the island is highly accustomed to the brutal linear winds and driving torrential rains of seasonal typhoons, the localized rotational violence of a tornado caught the public completely off guard. Video footage instantly went viral on global digital platforms, including Threads and X. The clips depicted a towering dark gray funnel cloud stretching down from pitch-black storm clouds directly into residential areas. Debris could be seen flying through the air as the funnel passed dangerously close to high-rise apartment complexes in Tamsui. I was looking out my terrace window when suddenly the wind shifted violently and everything started flying, said an online user who witnessed the twister strike. We all bolted inside away from the glass. It was terrifying because we expect typhoons here, but we never expect a tornado. Weather experts noted that Taiwan's cramped spaces and lack of wide plains prevent tornadoes from achieving the monstrous, long-lived destructive paths seen in the United States. Nevertheless, the Tamsui tornado left a distinct trail of localized damage across 3 major neighborhoods. Numerous sheet metal roofs, solar panel installations, and residential terraces were ripped away by the localized suction forces. Several massive electricity poles were left leaning at dangerous angles, forcing emergency power crews to isolate grids to prevent electrical fires. Mature trees lining the coastal boulevards of Danhai were snapped at the trunk or entirely pulled from the soil, completely blocking local traffic lanes. Heavy scaffolding and construction fences around ongoing development projects in Danhai New Town buckled under the rotational wind speeds. While the tornado acted as a terrifying localized wildcard, the primary driver of the weekend's emergency was Typhoon Dolphin. The storm first began tracking across the western Pacific in late July 2026, keeping meteorologists across East Asia on constant alert. By Friday, August 7th, 2026, the storm had matured into a dangerous tropical cyclone, tracking steadily west-northwest toward the East China Sea. The CWA officially issued a comprehensive sea warning for the waters off northern and southeastern Taiwan, the Bashi Channel, and the northern Taiwan Strait. Although the center of Typhoon Dolphin ultimately remained several hundred kilometers north of Taipei, its massive 280-kilometer circulation radius meant that its highly destructive outer rain bands completely raked the northern counties of the island. The CWA issued urgent, heavy, and extremely heavy rainfall alerts across a broad swath of the country. The areas placed on maximum alert included Keelung City, the northern coast, New Taipei City, Taipei City, Yilan County, and the central mountainous terrains extending down toward Taichung and Kaohsiung. Rain accumulation surpassed 80 millimeters within 24-hour periods in localized areas, with hourly rainfall limits breaking 40 millimeters. Rivers rose rapidly, forcing local authorities to deploy water monitoring crews and thousands of precautionary sandbags to flood-prone valley settlements. While the north was drowning in rain, a severe Fo-hen wind effect struck eastern and southern Taiwan. As the powerful southeasterly and easterly winds of the typhoon circulation slammed into the central mountain range, the moisture was entirely wrung out on the windward side. As the air dried and rapidly descended down the leeward slopes into Yilan, Hualien, and Taichung counties, it compressed and heated up dramatically. Daytime temperatures in Hualien and Yilan skyrocketed to a scorching 38 degrees Celsius on Saturday, August 8th. This created a bizarre scenario where northern residents braved freezing deluges, while eastern residents suffered under intense desert-like heat waves. According to the National Emergency Management and Local Disaster Response Centers, the combined onslaught of Typhoon Dolphin and the Tamsui tornado caused exactly 632 reported storm-related incidents across Taiwan as of Sunday afternoon, August 9th. The violent wind gusts, which reached levels capable of halting moving vehicles, toppled multiple commuter scooters. In the Linkou and Tamsui districts of New Taipei City, scooter riders were filmed completely unable to push forward against the headwinds before being forcefully blown over onto the asphalt. In the heart of Taipei, the storm winds sheared off commercial scaffolding, building facade materials, and large metal panels from construction fences, sending them crashing into pedestrian walkways. At the northern port facilities, several stacked shipping containers, vulnerable to high-velocity linear winds, toppled over, crushing adjacent logistics equipment. Mountain highways in Taoyuan and Hsinchu experienced localized rockfalls and minor mudslides, which temporarily blocked rural state routes and prompted preventative closures of tunnels. At the Bitou Fishing Harbor in New Taipei's Ruifang district, massive ocean swells driven by the typhoon washed tons of heavy marine driftwood directly into the harbor basins. The debris completely choked the docking slips, trapping fishing vessels and requiring the emergency deployment of heavy mechanical excavators to clear the waters. The proximity of Typhoon Dolphin's outer wind radius caused massive gridlocks and immediate safety suspensions across international and domestic transit networks. Travelers trying to clear out before the weekend were left stranded as transport hubs across northern Taiwan hit the brakes. The Civil Aeronautics Administration, CAA, issued real-time operational updates confirming that as of 10 a.m. on Sunday, August 9th, a total of 194 flights had been completely canceled. This included 79 domestic flights connecting Taipei, Taichung, and Kaohsiung to outlying island territories such as Penghu, Kinmen, Matsu, and Green Island. 115 international and cross-strait flights. Major carriers, including China Airlines, EVA Air, and various regional international operators, grounded flights heading northwest into China, Japan, and South Korea due to severe mid-air turbulence forecasts. The Maritime and Port Bureau ordered the total shutdown of 9 vital passenger ferry routes. High-speed waves reaching up to 7 meters were recorded off the coast of Orchid Island and the Hengchun Peninsula. Northern coastal waters saw waves consistently exceeding 3 to 5 meters, rendering commercial maritime travel extremely hazardous and prompting strict mandates for all fishing vessels to remain anchored within inner harbors. To prevent wind-induced vehicular accidents, the highway bureaus enforced a high-profile precautionary closure of select lanes on the iconic Danjiang Bridge and adjacent high-elevation coastal viaducts. In Taoyuan's Fuxing district, local administrators took the proactive step of declaring an official day off from work and school on Sunday. This kept hundreds of mountain residents off dangerous winding roads while river levels surged toward critical spillway limits. Typhoon Dolphin, the most powerful tropical cyclone to hit China in 2026, made 2 consecutive landfalls in eastern Zhejiang province on Sunday evening, forcing over 1 million residents to evacuate and completely paralyzing regional transit. The system first crossed the coastline near Yuhuan City at approximately 5:30 p.m. local time, packing maximum sustained winds of 42 meters per second, 151 kilometers per hour or 94 miles per hour, equivalent to a Category 1 hurricane. Just over an hour later, at 6:40 p.m., the storm made its second official landfall near Yueqing City, continuing its destructive path inland across east-central China. The rapid intensification of Typhoon Dolphin, nationally designated as the 13th named storm of the 2026 Pacific typhoon season, has kept meteorological agencies across East Asia on maximum alert over the past week. After developing significant wind energy in the western Pacific and lashing Japan's Ryukyu Islands, Dolphin targeted the highly industrialized and densely populated coastline of the East China Sea. According to tracking data compiled by Zoom Earth and verified by the China Meteorological Administration, CMA, the severe tropical cyclone initiated a rare double landfall sequence within a 2-hour window. First landfall in Yuhuan City. At 5:30 p.m. local time on August 9th, 2026, the exact center of Dolphin crossed the coast of Yuhuan, a county-level city under the administration of Taizhou, Zhejiang. The National Meteorological Center, NMC, measured a minimum central barometric pressure of 945 hectopascals. Wind forces near the core peaked at 42 meters per second, creating immense destructive potential upon coastal barriers. Second landfall in Yueqing City. Rather than dissipating immediately or veering back out to sea, the storm tracked southwestward and hammered the shores of neighboring Yueqing City, located directly north of Wenzhou, at 6:40 p.m. During this second impact, central pressure sat at 950 hectopascals, with maximum sustained winds tapering slightly to 38 meters per second. An extreme localized wind gust of 167 kilometers per hour was officially registered by a meteorological station in Yueqing, demonstrating that the cyclone maintained its violent momentum even as it scraped along coastal mountain ranges. Faced with a Category 1 equivalent typhoon pushing directly toward high population centers, the Chinese government enacted sweeping precautionary protocols. Hours before the outer rain bands crossed the maritime boundary, Beijing upgraded its severe meteorological emergency response from Level 3 to Level 2, signaling the profound potential for large-scale structural ruin and loss of human life. The National Observatory hoisted a red alert, the highest tier in China's 4-color weather warning architecture. The total number of displaced civilians across the region surpassed 1 million by late Sunday night. The logistical scale of the human evacuation was anchored by municipal efforts in Zhejiang and Fujian provinces. The brunt of the preventative logistics fell on the coastal manufacturing hub of Wenzhou, where authorities successfully relocated more than 900,000 residents out of low-lying floodplains, makeshift urban settlements, and high-risk coastal zones. To facilitate this massive influx, municipal bodies converted civic facilities, sports arenas, and public schools into more than 1,000 state-backed emergency shelters equipped with medical care, sanitation kits, and emergency rations. Situated immediately south of the landfall zone, authorities in Fujian executed a Level 3 emergency response. High-risk coastal pockets and mountainous terrains prone to mudslides saw the mandatory evacuation of 98,900 individuals. The Ministry of Water Resources and Provincial Maritime Safety Administrations mandated an all-ships return to port order. In Shanghai's strategic Yangshan port, berths were cleared entirely of massive transoceanic container vessels, while over 500 small and medium-sized cargo ships were escorted to secure inland waterways to ride out the storm surge. The timing of Typhoon Dolphin coincided with heavy regional transit volume, causing total systemic paralysis across the Yangtze River Delta's transportation networks. The severe winds and zero-visibility rain bands triggered thousands of flight cancellations and ground transport halts. According to a broadcast via state media outlet CCTV, Shanghai's two global aviation gateways, Pudong International Airport and Hongqiao Airport, scrapped roughly 1,400 flights. Global commercial operators, including Singapore Airlines, SIA, were forced to cancel more than 20 critical regional connection routes running between Southeast Asian hubs and Shanghai. Ningbo Lish International Airport completely shuttered its runway infrastructure starting late Saturday evening. On the water, maritime authorities suspended over 55 distinct passenger ferry corridors in Fujian and closed 162 routes in Zhejiang. Offshore infrastructure development was put on immediate standby, with 115 industrial marine construction projects ordered frozen, forcing 290 engineering vessels to drop anchor inside sheltered breakwaters. A major point of emphasis raised by China's National Meteorological Center is that a typhoon's threat does not expire at the point of coastal landfall. Chief Meteorologist Wang warned the public that as Dolphin migrates further inland over rugged terrain, it will transition into a slow-moving, moisture-rich remnant vortex. This system is poised to unleash a secondary wave of geographical disasters across eastern, central, and northern China. Atmospheric models indicate that central and eastern sections of Zhejiang are on track to swallow an extraordinary 250 millimeters to 500 millimeters of rainfall within a 48-hour window. This volume of precipitation poses extreme urban waterlogging risks for dense cities and introduces catastrophic flash flood dynamics to small and medium-sized river systems. Torrential downpours are currently moving through heavy agricultural and industrial swaths of Shanghai, southern Anhui, Jiangsu, and northeastern Jiangxi provinces. Short, hyper-intense convective bursts exceeding 80 millimeters of rain per hour are likely to destabilize hillsides and blind urban drainage capacities. After Wednesday, the weakened remnant low-pressure core is forecast to turn sharply northward. Between Thursday and Sunday, this moisture plume will collide with colder northern air masses, triggering downpours across the politically and economically sensitive Beijing-Tianjin-Hebei megalopolis, northern Shandong, and Liaoning province. Localized mountainous zones in these northern territories must prepare for sudden mountain torrents and geological failures. Prior to making its destructive arrival on mainland Chinese soil, the vast atmospheric circulation of Typhoon Dolphin caused widespread distress across adjacent islands in the western Pacific. Dolphin spent the early half of the weekend charting a course through Japan's southern Okinawa Prefecture and Kagoshima Prefecture, delivering sustained maximum winds of 162 kilometers per hour and gusts clocking up to 216 kilometers per hour.